Welcome to the Ref Room, hockey talk for referees, coaches, players, and fans.
Broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
With your hosts, Smokin, Silz, and Baumruck.
Live.
The Ref Room starts right now.
And now your host.
Oh yeah, it is Monday. It is the Ref Room. I am Smokin Silz along with Baumruck. Welcome to the show, everybody. We do this every Monday starting at 5:30. It's hockey talk for referees, coaches, players, fans, and anybody else that would like to join in with us. What's going on, my friend?
Not much. How's everything going with you? The Nationals are upon us. I don't know if you saw.
This week.
High school Nationals have concluded.
They have. Did we bring home
a
win?
Did.
Did we get anybody even close?
The last Stevenson was in the final. I do not know what the outcome was, to be honest with you.
Good for them. That's awesome, man. They had quite a year. You got Nationals coming up at 5th, 3rd this week, right? That's midgets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
You're working some of those games.
Phantom Majors.
Phantom Majors. Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah. I'm skating with a very skilled staff.
I'm sure you are. Well, just think. Like 2 months ago, we were sitting here going, I wonder if they'll even have Nationals in Chicago. So, that's really good news that everything opened up just in time and we're rocking and rolling. So we got seminars coming. They're just around the corner. I know you guys are already planning for those. So
it's coming fast.
Yeah, we're starting in June this year. Is that correct?
Scheduled to start in June, yes.
Yeah.
So nothing's finalized. There's no dates right now, so don't ask.
Let's talk about the seminars real briefly. We got some stuff we're going to cover today because we want to talk about penalty situations. But before we get into that, like if you want to give back, amongst our IHOA community, our staff of instructors and things of that nature, what is the procedure for, getting certified? Because I don't know if you guys know, but the people that teach the seminars have to be certified by USA Hockey.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to go.
The instructors.
One has to be. The rest can be volunteers or people that have also studied appropriately for this. But tell us a little bit about the process and where they go and what happens if you want to get involved and do this.
Yeah, so it's really cool, So you're local. There's a couple ways to go about it. You can contact USA Hockey directly, or like in this area, pretty much our entire district, it's all done through the referee and chiefs, and they do a great job coordinating it. Like here and a couple other places, they help you out with some of the cost for your flight and stuff like that. It just depends on your area. Some places you have to pony that up yourself, but you take that as expanded training. And from the idea of any camp that you go through for USA Hockey, which an instructor's camp is still a camp, the idea is to go get some sort of knowledge and then bring it back to your local and teach it. So that's even the development camps like Futures Camp and all that stuff, because they're all teaching camps. Even though you're working and being evaluated, they're all teaching camps. So you're supposed to come back and share that knowledge with your officiating partners and family back at home. So the big thing is there's a couple of spots for it. One's in the east, one's on the west. And technically the west one is at Colorado Springs. And the east one is at Lake Placid, I believe.
They both be awesome facility. Those are like Olympic training facilities, aren't they?
Yeah, they're Olympic training facilities. When I went to Colorado Springs, and that was cool because they have hockey, curling, and let's see what else. Hockey, curling, swimming, and sharpshooting. I believe it was sharpshooting. So there's people there firing weapons and stuff. Like they're all indoors. So it's it's separated, but it's a big complex, and you're in there, and it's kind of like a little village. Inside of it, they have cabanas, apartments, whatever you want to call them. In there,
they put you up, right? You're not staying in a hotel. You're staying on the facility.
Yep, you stay on the grounds. Everything is tagged and only entry by magnetics. One of the big things that a lot of our guys have liked is the cafeteria is all you can eat, and it opens at 5 a.m. and it closes, I think, at 8 o'clock or 9 p.m.
Oh,
at
that's
night.
way too early. That's way too early for
Yeah.
hockey people. What time does the
So-
open bar stay open till is the question.
Well, so that's all offsite. There's nothing on there. So what was funny about it is I'll tell you a little funny experience from my end. We're there, and I ask him, I just want 2 sunny side up eggs in the morning, right? That's what I want. And I go to the lady, hey, can I get 2 sunny side eggs? And she's like, how many did you want? 2 dozen? I'm like, 2 dozen? Like, no, 2.
Yeah, we got the
Like,
weightlifters in town. They want 2 dozen,
No.
you know?
and that's what it is. I get it. Like, but I was like, no, I'm not here. I'm here for a totally unrelated reason. Okay,
Yeah.
I need to eat like a normal person.
Right.
So, but the camps. So you file into the USA Hockey site, and it's on their site. I believe the camps have already been selected for the year. If not, let me know if you're interested, and we will get you to the right people to help you out in our area. And if anybody else is interested in the country, there are certain people that you might need to talk to along the way. So it's a great time. You go there. It's a great, relaxed learning. They teach you a lot of things. Like, I didn't know what Kahoot was. Okay. It's a great little tool to use for seminars and stuff like that. And it's all interactive, and it's with cell phones. I know Scott's like looking at me
Who, like you're in cahoots with who?
Exactly. So, but no, it's fun. Like, and when you put together a bunch of guys that are between the ages of, 14 and 22 or even 30, you get a lot of interesting answers when you have free form type. So that was interesting. And like, they teach you all kinds of different teaching methods. Like one of the situations is, they give you a task and it's like impossible to complete the task.
Is that your new puppy back there I'm hearing in the background?
Yes, that's Addison.
And what is your dog's name?
You're going to give this to me. Addison Bauer.
Addison Bauer. Now, why would you pick the worst friggin' referee room in America to name your dog after? What were you thinking?
I don't think my wife isn't watching today, I don't think. But,
the dog
she
has
could
got
put it in the comments.
comes with like black mold disease.
That's what my wife wanted, so that's what she got. So she puts up with me and the boys.
Right.
So
well, I got Frankie right here. I don't know if she'll jump up.
I heard her.
Come on up here.
I heard her.
There I don't know if there you can see her down in the corner. She's here. Frankie has arrived. She used to come up for all the shows. She just took my headphones out.
Well,
there we go.
So, anyways, what else? Do you want to know anything like the camps? There's on ice. There's on ice. There's off ice.
So, are they teaching you the drills that you're supposed to bring back that we do at the seminars? Is that some of the stuff that they teach you in the plan? No. What do they teach you?
It's a course on how to teach.
Okay.
How to get the because a lot of people don't realize that teaching. It's unless you're a teacher doing it all the time, it's a 3-part process. So verbal, visual, and then, actually participating is another way of doing it.
Was that more for the classroom than the on ice then? Or, break that out, because we have 2 portions to the seminar. We have the on ice portion and then we have the classroom portion, or the Zoom portion it seems to be.
So if you think about it, when we teach seminars, we teach positioning with a diagram up on a an overhead projection. We teach it by talking about it, and we might have some videos in there, and then we go reinstill those out on the ice. So now you're physically actually doing it. So you're getting 3 teaching methods, because everybody learns differently, and plus when you say things one way, it might not get in there, but if you do it, then it all comes together and makes sense.
Right.
So, but it was a big core. It was very good. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, but then again, the people that were there, I knew quite a few of them that were taking it, especially our Illinois brethren that went with me. So
that makes it
we
fun.
had a really good time. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Just so everybody knows, if you go to the one in Colorado, when you get there, They offer you a water bottle. It's either $1 or $2 to buy. There are water stations throughout the complex. Pay the $1 or $2. Drink the water. Altitude sickness is a very, very real thing. And we actually had an official end up in the hospital while they were there because they were so sick. And to combat altitude sickness, this is just a good thing that I learned there. Drink tons of water.
See, I never knew that. I
didn't either.
I've been to Vegas to play hockey, and the air is a little bit thinner. I don't think it's as bad as you get in Colorado, but you could feel it a little bit. You could feel it in your legs and everything else while you're out there skating hard. But I know it's supposed to be a thing. I know the golfers can hit the ball a long way, no altitude. Like that's where they get those 400-yard drives. But I never really thought about that. That is definitely something to consider. Mm-hmm. I mean, and if you guys get a chance, like, it's road trips, it's hockey. If you got friends and you're going, it's always way more fun than if you're going by yourself and you don't know anybody. Not that you won't have a good time, but it's always better. So if you get that chance, you should do it. Be a good time.
Agreed.
Anyway, yeah.
And if you want to give back your area, I guarantee you, if you ask, someone will find something for you to do.
Absolutely.
It might not be what you want to do, or it might be you're kind of like, well, why does somebody need to do this? It's because whoever it is that's asking you to do it has done it before, and they need it done, or else the certain building blocks don't work. Like directing people at a seminar when they walk in is pretty crucial. It could get crazy in some of the rinks to where we're at. So
yeah, you're getting 50, 60 people that are showing up for some of these seminars, and it's a lot of people and a lot of people with a lot of questions. And remember, a lot of them, if they're level ones, they've never been a referee. They've got a ton of questions. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to expect. And they're excited. They want to be there. They're thrilled that they're getting a new opportunity. After they get out there, get yelled at a little bit, they may change their mind a little bit, but
Well, think about the first seminar that you went to.
I had a blast.
I had a blast. My instructors were awesome. But
I had an NHL linesman teaching me how to drop the puck, teaching me about shin tights. I did. He was awesome. Yeah. I mean, we had, Barrett was there. I think Carl was there. I can't remember. It's been 10 years, but, we had a lot of really good people, and they did a great job, and I was excited to be there. We were in like it almost looked like a little dance studio, because I think we were at, Leaf Center.
Well, they have the workout room there.
Yeah, and we pretty much had the class in there, so it was almost like mock stuff, dry land in terms of, what you're doing in the rink and all that good stuff. And then, of course, you hit the ice and you skate and, you learn how to do things. It's interesting. And, if you're going to take up refereeing or you'd like to try it and you want to come out and do it, you'd be amazed that it's not as easy as it looks. And we get told that over and over and over by people that watch us do it all the time and think it's really easy. It's not. It's not. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to do. And you should give it a try. If you love hockey, it's a great give back to the sport. So, we certainly need people, good people. If you can skate, that's half the battle right there. If you could skate the games, we can teach you a lot of the rest as long as you have good hocky sense. Goalies make great referees. So goalies have been watching hockey.
There's a lot of good goalie referees.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody said, "What up?" So we got a couple of comments in. I think Karen had chimed in U14 for the Nationals. I don't know who this is because it's a Facebook user. What up, Silz? But all right, what up to you too? Not sure who that is, but glad you're here. All right, so a couple of other things we want to talk about today. We were going to talk a little bit about penalties and like how to handle things.
Well, the assessment and that's the key proponent here. What to do? Yeah, we've got our arm up. Yeah, we've made our call. What do you do afterwards? So, Scott, why don't you start it off?
Well, I mean, okay, so we've got our signal, we've got our hand in the air. First thing we're going to do is we are going to come to a complete stop.
There you go.
Do you have to, like, if you're up against the boards, do you have to stand there and make your penalty call? No, you can keep your arm up in the air, folks, and you can skate out. Everybody wants to know what you're going to call. I mean, that's just kind of commanding some attention. You're commanding the room. Referee's got his arm up in the air. Folks are interested. They want to know what happened. So, you own them for that moment. So you can come out and, assess your penalty. Come out, come to a stop, show them what you got, verbalize it. You got to verbalize to the player, verbalize to everybody out there so they know what you're calling. After that, you're going to proceed towards the penalty box, and you're going to skate backwards doing it. You're not going to go forward. You're going to turn, take a couple strides, go backwards, and you're going to avoid the bench for the team that you are calling the penalty on if you can.
If
you're calling that penalty in front of the bench, boy, it's way better to not even assess that penalty, keep your arm up, and go more out towards center ice. Get more to the middle of the building, and then let them know what the penalty is. Get out of there. Why do you want to stand there and get abused by 24 people? And that's what they can have, right? You can have 24 people on that bench, 18 skaters, 2 goalies, and four coaching staff. So you can have 24 people right there that you can quickly avoid if you'd like to.
Should you assess, and so you should assess and point and verbally say the signal, say the color,
give the
player's
signal.
name, and give the signal.
You're not giving the player's name. You're just going to go 14 blue.
Or player's number.
Yeah, hooking.
Sorry.
Whatever the case may be. There's one thing that I noticed that a lot of the officials make a mistake on, and this one I do want to point out, and even a lot of our veteran officials that are high-level officials, I see a lot of them do this. And that is after they have a penalty that is a 2 and a 10 that carries an automatic misconduct, they give the signal, like head contact, and then they give a misconduct signal. You're not supposed to give the misconduct signal. That is implied. It is implied that this comes with 2 and 10 automatically. This would only be if you were gaming them for some reason. If something happened and you were giving them an additional misconduct, then you could give that signal. But that would not be the signal to give at the time you're giving like a head contact or,
because it carries
and you're doing your signal. It's already implied that is a 2 and 10 penalty. Because you can't give it as a standalone, so there's no reason to give that signal.
Now, the only time that I don't see that happen, it happens all the time with head contact, charging, those ones, it happens all the time. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it with a hit from behind. And I think that's just because of where they're coming from on their back. It's got to be.
Maybe. I mean, has to be. I've seen it. I've seen check from behind misconduct. I mean, some of the guys just give it all the time. They do it automatically. But again, that's not something that you need to do. It is not a misconduct signal that you give out in that situation. It is implied that it is 2 and 10. It's not an additional misconduct. It's the misconduct that comes with the penalty.
Yep.
So that's the big one that I wanted to point out.
Well, let's go back to the pointing at the player.
Yeah.
If the player is 5 feet away from you and you're going to be standing there with your 3-foot arm 2 foot away from their face, do you think you should point at them? Yeah. Or do you think you should possibly make a little bit of separation first?
Again, that goes back to the hand is up in the air. Let's get out of the area a little bit if we need to. You don't need to be like right there in your face, like right there. That is a penalty. You can, you get out of there. Again, you have a couple seconds. You're in control of the speed of the way the things are done. It doesn't have to be whistle, boom, slash, out of here, boom, done. It's not a rush thing. You can, again, command the stage. The stage is, we've got a penalty. And now you all are going to know, you're going to find out in a moment what the penalty is. Get yourself to the best position you can on the ice. Get out of the corner. Get out of 5 players that are right there that may not be happy that somebody's getting that penalty. Whatever. Just get out of the area. It just looks good.
It's going behind the net might not be the fastest route, but going behind the net can separate you from angry players.
Yeah.
And
you got your goaltender friend back there to take care of you too.
I hope so. I hope he's there.
Hopefully, we say this every week that you've made friends with that goaltender, but you just never know when you might need them.
One of the big things with penalties is on tripping. When you assess a tripping penalty, your head and eyes need to stay up.
Yeah.
There are still penalties that happen during stoppages, even though we're over there commanding the moment, like Scott just said,
Yep.
or the stage, however you want to put it.
Yep.
They could still have penalty infractions, and the worst thing you want is to be looking at your laces and everybody starts screaming.
Well, I'm going to give you a great example of this. I'm not going to put anybody under the bus, but I was working with the newer official, and the newer official is going to be really good. Like, he's a really good skater. He gets the game. He gets it. He's going to be super good. But I think this was probably like the 5th game that he had worked. And I had a penalty that I called that was up near the penalty box area. It was a boarding call. So he was watching me. He was watching, how I handled the situation and paying attention to what I was doing instead of paying attention to the players that were like right next to him. And quickly he learned that he needs to pay attention to the players, not me. He learned the hard way in that situation. He got an earful for it too. And I was not happy because the coach was out of control. But
Yeah.
I get it. He missed something. It happens. I get it. But it was a good learning situation. I guarantee it'll never happen again, because that's how things tend to work out. But, it does happen. So, pay attention to the players out there, guys. And if you're the referee, there's nobody else out there. If you're in a 3-man, there's nobody else out there that can call the penalties except you. So you got to have the head on the swivel. It's really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the importance of skating out of that zone backwards to keep all the players in front of you.
Exactly.
And we're not saying backwards the entire time. You can take a couple steps, like 2 or 3 strides out and turn your body at that point.
Yeah.
But then turn backwards, come across, and then get back to the center line and make a nice, easy transition across if you have to. So that's the big things. Once you get to the scorekeeper box, all right, you're now talking to the scorekeeper. Your initial penalty is you communicating to the rest of the arena.
Yep.
Scorekeeper at that point can make sure you're communicating with them. If they seem unsure, go all the way up to the glass and talk to them.
This is a really key point, and we really need to emphasize this because, unfortunately, a lot of times the scorekeepers don't know what you're calling. They think they know hockey. They tell you, I get it. And you find real fast that they don't get it. So it's important. Again, the game sheet is a legal document. You have to make sure it's accurate. Save yourself a lot of headaches by going over and checking, especially, if you've got a 2-10 or you've got a multiple penalty situation, you need to go over there and make sure stuff is getting written down properly and that the timekeeper or the scorekeeper, combination of both, understands what they're supposed to do, who's supposed to come out, when they're supposed to come out. If you get a goal that's scored, go over and check and make sure the right person is getting out or not getting out. Because a lot of times they just send people. You can have coincidentals in there and they send 2 guys back on the ice at the same time. Now, both teams have too many men. So you have situations, even after you've given them clear instructions, you still need to dot your I's and cross your T's because the mistakes happen. It's just the reality of it. That's why it is so great. It's so awesome when you have a good scorekeeper that actually knows what's going on. It makes the referee or I don't care if it's 2-man, 3-man, 4-man, it just makes your job that much easier, especially when they get the penalty times up on the clock quickly. Because it's funny, a lot of times when they can't get the penalties on the clock and then you go over and you have a coincidental and you say nothing on the board and next thing you know, all of a sudden now we got penalties up on the board. Like I just said, nothing on the board. It's just the way it works. Honestly, it happens all the time. That's the way that's the way they do it. I don't know if how or why, but it always works out that way.
Be careful too. I had a team, and I've had him a couple times throughout the year, and it's a coach that I'm not very familiar with. And every once in a while throughout the game, you would assess a minor penalty. Well, all of a sudden, he would send over like a second guy thinking there was like a 10, right? So you go over there and you tell the guy to get out of the box, right? Because you don't need the second guy, right? Make sure it's the second guy that comes out of the box, not the better player.
Right.
Hint. Yeah. Hint.
Yep, exactly.
So make sure that you're penalty that's been assessed,
Yep.
the proper player goes into the box that you thought. Now, video may determine later that it was someone else,
Yep.
and
It
you might be
happens.
adamant that it was, and it is what it is.
Yep.
Make sure whoever you feel should be in the box gets in the box.
Yep. Exactly.
And when there's a goal with multiple players sitting in the penalty bench, and there's supposed to be somebody coming out of the box, make
it's
sure
the
the right
person.
player comes out of the box.
And what happens when you have two guys that go in at the same time and now you have a goal scored and one of them gets to come out? It's captain's choice, folks. Captain's choice as to who gets out first.
As long as they were assessed at the same time.
If they were assessed at the same time. Same stoppage, yeah.
Yeah, just want to make sure that that's clear.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Now,
a big one. I'm trying to think what some of the other big ones would be. You guys know you can only have four coaches or team people on the bench. Players that are injured, if they have their jersey and their helmet on, and they have to have a helmet on. You'll find some coach. By the way, some of these teams have some pretty young coaches. You go to the high school games, there's some guys that are probably right at that 17, 18-year-old age group that are helping coach those teams. If they're under 18, they've got to have a helmet on, guys. Helmet and a cage. That's something to be aware of. And
unless they have a coaching card.
if they have a coaching card, they don't need the helmet at that point?
So if they're an actual rostered coach, they just need a coaching card.
Oh, that's
if they're a player that's
I thought it was if they were under 18, they had to have one. So
if it's a player that's injured, they have to be wearing their team jersey and helmet. They cannot be substituted with a coaching card.
Yeah,
because they're considered a rostered player on that team, even though they're not participating in that game and might be crossed off the roster for that day. But they're considered a player at that point. The coach's insurance is different than the player's insurance, so it covers differently. Players are expected to have their helmets on in order to protect them, and that all goes into actuary values and fluxation of how much we pay. So for them to be having that guarantee that they're going to be wearing that helmet, it should prevent any injury that they wouldn't normally occur. So coaches, though, because it's a different insurance, they have a coverage for it. Like referees are the only ones that have dental.
Yeah, I know we've talked about that before. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? But we're the only ones that are really unprotected from the nose down, if you think about it.
And you got to put a whistle in your mouth.
Yep. Exactly.
So, there's a lot of things that can happen in that time, and you can lose teeth because of it. So,
you saw my lip and my mouth for about 2 weeks. It's finally healed up, but I was lucky. Could have lost a couple of the chiclets on that one.
Yeah, you could have.
Yeah.
So, going back to this penalties, all right. In the two official system, if I'm assessing the penalty, Scott, to a player, what are you doing?
I'm watching the other players very carefully, like a hawk. Okay. It could be we could be escorting players to the penalty box depending on the situation. So there are different things that call for different, reactions on our part, which brings me to another point. Try not to touch players. Try not to touch players if you don't have to.
Yeah, no
You're
physical
escorting them
force
to the
is
box.
best.
Just escort them. You don't need to grab them and take them unless like two guys are like tangled up and you're just trying to separate them and get them out of there. But you are definitely trying to avoid touching players at all costs.
Yep, use as minimal force to separate those players as you can.
Yep.
Big no. Do not come after or do not try to separate a player from behind.
Yeah. That's good.
They do not know who you are.
Yeah.
It's a good way for you to get hurt, and it's an even worse way for them to get penalized.
Yeah.
Because if they turn around and sock you because you caught them unattentively because they weren't ready for you, and they sock you, well, guess what? You're possibly injured, and you have to suspend that player for that contact that was made. And it can be 100% hopefully avoided by us by not going in behind a player and trying to separate them from behind.
Yeah. Communication's your friend. We have some referees that are really good at it, that talk to players during the game and they communicate really well. we have some other referees that don't talk a lot. They're very quiet, and that's just their personality.
Yep.
Again, when you got partners, you're working 3-man, you're working 4-man, even working 2-man. Signals, guys, communication, icings, little things that we take for granted. It's an icing, but your partner can help you out in this situation. If it's close to the line, if it's close to the red line, and they haven't crossed the red line, if you yell ice, ice, they're probably going to know you're looking for an icing call at that point, or they're pointing at you. There's a lot of things that we need to do to communicate with one another because, remember, we're a team out there.
Yeah, it doesn't, is the longer that you do it, you don't realize how much you're non-verbally communicating with your partner until you look over there and your partner's laying on the ice and you have no idea what happened to him. And now, mind you, I'm good at keeping an eye on my partner throughout the game, but there are every once in a while situations where I can't fully know where they're at. And it's a split second.
Yep.
But, that nonverbal communication is key. And it's actually kind of interesting. If anybody's ever seen those like smoked out visors or whatever.
The OV. They look
like RoboCop, those ones.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they have those. And I remember a referee wore a smoked out visor once. And it was a 4 official system. And they did it just, having fun, having a good personality.
Yeah.
And when they got off the ice at the end of the game, their partner turned to them, 4 official system. They were lining together and went, "Hey, you can't wear that visor." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And the partner's like, "I couldn't tell if you were looking at me the entire game, so I was lost."
Yeah.
Like I had no idea. You and me could not communicate. And he was so apologetic about it. He was like, "I didn't even think about that." Like, he's like, "You're right. We communicate all the time." He goes, "I could see you, but you couldn't see me." He's like, "Oh, so don't wear the RoboCop visor." OV. I like that you give it the OV credit,
OV.
Which I like, but
yeah, it's OV. Anybody with the smoke visor, it's OV.
Yeah, RoboCop. Telling you,
that works too. But I call them OV.
That's the men's league.
They usually have an 8 on their back, by the way. Even if it's men's league, they have an 8 on their back.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. If I see the smoked out mirror visor, that's the guy that I know I'm going to probably have a problem with throughout the game. And that's, sorry if I'm being judgmental. Don't wear one of those visors.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know that I've ever seen, a referee. Are they even legal for a referee to wear? I mean, I guess they are if they're certified.
It says a visor.
Yeah.
Well,
so
it would just have
just not a good idea.
Be a hockey visor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just well, he didn't think of it. And what was funny is like we were going out like 10 minutes after them on the other side, and we were all like, "Yeah, that's kind of cool, neat idea." And then after that, everybody was like, "Ooh, none of us thought of that." Like,
maybe all 4 of us should be out there with one of those. And really scare the players.
See each other.
The players can't see
reflection.
It's like the police with the mirrored sunglasses.
Oh yeah, so they can't tell where you're looking.
Right, exactly.
So,
all right, Frankie has arrived. Frankie needs some attention here. She used to come up all the time. She hasn't done this in a while, but she's a busy girl today. So,
what other kind of bad habits do you see, Scott? Since we're talking about bad habits, we've kind of had a couple of these shows.
Yeah, I think weak signals for me is it doesn't send the right message. You guys need to have crisp, clear signals. It just makes such a difference in your presentation to the coaches, the players, the people watching the game. Just like, your uniform. I mean, I know that's not part of the penalty thing, but, being credible out there means looking the part, looking like you're competent to do the job until you prove yourself otherwise, which does happen. But, if you go out there, you could take an NHL referee and send him out there with pants that are 4 inches too long and a jersey that looks like a mini skirt that's dirty and stickers all over his helmet and, a hoodie hanging out the back of his jersey. And he's an NHL official. He's really good at what he does and he can skate like the wind. But tell you what, the coaches, the parents, the players are going to be looking at him like, who is this tool coming out here? But we have
We're
officials
talking
that do. We have officials that do that. And
Not
I'm
NHL
not saying
officials.
that they all, but it's newer officials, it's younger officials, it's veteran officials, it's a lot of people. They don't really think about it until it gets pointed out to them. But if you look the part, you're not digging yourself out of a hole. If you come out there looking like that, you're digging yourself out of a hole from the start. You could be the best official.
Yeah.
You could be, you could be Wes McCauley. I'm not saying he's the best official, but he's right there. Okay.
I get
You could be Wes McCauley, but if you came out there like that, everybody would look at you like, who is this guy? Now, 20 minutes down the road, he may dig himself out. He'd be like, man, this guy is good. He can skate. He can fly. He's not missing any calls. He's actually pretty good. But the initial perception of him is not where it should be. Whereas you could go out there and, you could look the part and they're going to expect that you know what you're doing until you prove them wrong.
Yeah, it's like the old.
Till you can't get an icing right or can't get an offsides right or whatever, then you become questionable. But it's just perception's huge, and in evaluating referees, I think it's really important for them to learn how to look and how to be appropriately dressed. And we've talked about that. We talked about that with Tim Peel on the show, an NHL referee. About like how your uniform should fit and the look of it and everything. And Tim even pointed out that even at the very highest levels at professional hockey, there were guys that didn't get to go to the show or stay there because of the way their uniform. They just didn't look like they belonged. It's like, and I think that's important. I think, for the guys that are coming along.
The one big thing is, that grinds my gears is people wearing what I would call sleepwear into the building to referee.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Karen's chiming in. When checking pant length, look in a mirror instead of looking down. Yeah. Just because you have skates on, where it should come is to the bottom of the heel. Like, it shouldn't be below the blade once you've got the pants on and they're comfortable. That's kind of where it should be.
It should be just touching the top of your laces in the front.
Yeah.
And the tongue.
So,
that's the length. And, you cut it in a straight line.
Yeah.
Pant length is one thing. The shin tights thing is another.
Yeah, shin tights are, when you got the pant legs sticking in, it's...
What's bad is my shin tights are starting to go bad, too.
Well,
so, the last time I was skating, mine got caught, and I'm like, not this again. So I'll have a thing of tape with me because I don't have them, and I ordered them.
Yeah.
I'll have a thing of tape with me, and all you do is take your laces. So here's the tongue, right? You fold your laces up, so the rabbit ears upwards. You take tape, you go around, and you put it up to the top of the tongue on the back, the tendon guard.
Yep.
And just give it a quick wrap around. It doesn't have to be tight, nothing. And it will keep your pants out of your legs or out of
Andy
your
taught me that at the
skates.
level 1 seminar because I had the back of my pants and the back of my skates. I didn't know about shin tights at that point, so I learned very quickly. I was pulled aside by an NHL linesman and taught about that one. So
yeah,
that's
and
like
I said, with mine, I'm going to have to do it when I'm skating, or else it's going to happen, and I'm going to be more mad at myself that it happened because I already know how to prevent it.
Exactly. But, having your jersey clean, washing your jersey, having your pants look clean. If they're torn, patching them. Great patchwork for your referee pants is, you can go to one of the fabric stores and they sell black jean patches. They're just square, big squares. They're iron-on. You cut a square, you go inside your pant, you put it on there, you press it on there. Boom. Your pants will look like they're brand new. I mean, it works. It's a great fix for a lot of stuff like that. Something to keep in mind. Just I'm sure you have some tips for your jerseys and for your the other attire that we wear. But that's a good tip for a lot of people.
Have the ones that I've had for 20 years because I've already got them all done and they're okay. That's my big tip.
They've been rebuilt. Your pants, if they're 20 years old, they got to be rebuilt completely.
No, the pants aren't that old.
Okay.
I got a good tip for getting blood out of referee stuff.
Give it to us.
Saline solution.
Saline, really?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nasal spray. Okay. Nasal spray is real good.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
And when you push it, it even sprays out and it mists for you. It does all the hard work. Take it, spray it on the blood, let it sit for 15 minutes, throw it in the wash with some shout on top of it, and it should be all gone.
Yeah,
you can get it out with peroxide.
I'll tell you, it was interesting because I was sending my ref sweaters out to the cleaners, not for dry cleaning, but for laundry. I thought, oh, they'll do a great job. And they came back, they looked nice, but, they were starting to get funky in terms of color and stuff. And I talked to a few of our veteran referees, and they gave me some suggestions, and I went back and I soaked my jersey. I put the shout on it and soaked them in hot water for like 15, 20 minutes. Those jerseys look brand new now. Like, I'm just like, wow. There are some things you can do that really will make your stuff look way better. So it just takes a few minutes.
Shout in a bottle.
Spray bottle. Yeah, a spray bottle.
And I spray the whole thing, my whole sweater.
Yeah.
And I set it down on the top of the dryer, and I let it sit for about 10 minutes. And when I wash mine, I actually put OxyClean in mine for the first wash.
Yep.
I actually wash them twice. And I never put them in the dryer.
Oh, you don't? Now, I do put mine in the dryer, but I don't know. Maybe I haven't lately. I think I air dried it the last time, but
it'll cause the
collar?
The collar, thank you, to actually start to fray on the outside. So, because I've had mine for a really long time, and I've seen people that have frayed, but it's from throwing them in the dryer. Plus, you can break your zipper in there, too.
Yeah.
When you do wash your sweaters, if people aren't doing this, zip up your zipper.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good
idea. So it doesn't get caught. It's
amazing. We're talking penalties, and this is all like preparation for calling the penalties, so you look good. So I just want to clarify that since we did cover some of the stuff with penalties. We like to sidetrack a little bit here, just so you guys know. So that's kind of the deal.
It's okay. Well, so we're going to be switching over, Scott, right, from Facebook entirely.
Yes, we will be doing that. I don't know when, but we are going to make the move. We may even start where we start the show with both, and we cut off the Facebook feed, and you'll have to come over to YouTube. So I think that's probably what we're going to do. We'll do that probably as we move into the new season. We'll probably roll through summer because weather's getting, it's not better.
Yeah, it's getting nice.
It's going to get better. And, I know a lot of you guys are going to be out at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. You don't want to see us, but, we love having you, and we're glad you'll join us. Let's see. We got a couple other comments here.
All right.
Karen says, that was for checking the length of the pants.
These Under Armour jokes are not going to stop.
Sam.
All right,
checking. What about holes in the in your pants, Brad?
All right, so those were the Under Armours. All right, number one, and they were speed holes. I don't care what anybody says. That's what I'm calling them. I've bought all new Under Armour stuff, so everybody just drop it for now.
There you
Leave
go.
it alone.
Did you buy anything else new?
Take it.
Did you buy anything else new?
No, I bought a helmet. I mean,
I got a new helmet. Mine broke. I fell backwards into the boards and broke my helmet. So, fortunately, I didn't break my head, but I did break the helmet. So I get a new one now. So, and guys, keep those helmets looking nice. They're expensive.
That's a good one too.
Get a bag for your helmet. Keep a microfiber for your visor. That's a great way of keeping your stuff looking good. You can use basically clear shoe polish or, like a vinyl shiner. You can use Pledge. You can use all kinds of things on your helmet to shine them up so you look good out there.
I don't like the Pledge.
I haven't tried it, but I know some of the officials use that and swear by it. I'm more of a fan of the, I think it's the shoe polish. Quick wax. It's like a sponge thing, and you just brush it on there real quick, and it looks great. I think that does a great job. And you get a new helmet if you take care of it. You don't need to do it for a while, but when it does start to get a little scuffed up, that's a good way. We have some officials that will go and take their helmets into an auto body painting place and have them done. Oh, they look fantastic, but I know they have to take the pads and stuff out of there, so I don't know how that goes with getting them back in and everything, but I know they look great. Another trick for you guys, if you don't want your, if you can't get the stickers off your helmet, either a blow dryer with hot heat or a heat gun will help you get the stickers off, and some Goo Gone. Another trick is you can use black. Yeah, be careful, but
be
black
careful
electrical.
with the Goo Gone, because the Goo Gone can take the finish off the helmet too. So you got to be super careful with that.
See, good to know, because I had a little bit of the sticky stuff left on after I got my stickers off this new helmet, and I was thinking I'd put the Goo Gone on there, but maybe I won't now. But you can use black electrical tape if you need to cover up a logo. Like, you're going to nationals. I don't think they like logos showing. A piece of electrical tape over the logo or on the sides works great. You can't tell it's on there. It pretty much blends in with the helmet. That's another little trick that we use. Brett's chiming in, and I know Brett likes to he uses baby oil on his helmet, but I think it's a combination. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brett. You use the Kiwi clear shoe polish, but you add a little baby oil to that to give it even some more shine. And yeah, Brett's helmet usually looks pretty slick out there, so he's all slicked up.
Yeah,
he's got the
anybody tries to grab
baby
him.
oil going. Yeah, no, it looks good. He's put it on my helmet for me before. It looks great. Sal says Pledge leaves a film on the helmet. That's interesting, because I know Pops is one of the big proponents of the Pledge. He's the one that told me that secret. He uses it on his visor as well,
so it doesn't fog up.
Yeah. Yep. For me on the visor, I don't typically have a fog up issue. I continue to use the microfiber cloth on it. That works pretty well. I mean, I've seen guys use water on them. I've used water to clean them before. I've used the spray. All those things work pretty well. I know when I was playing, I had more trouble trying to keep the visor clear, and used to put some, I don't know who's whistling there. It's not me. But some baby shampoo. Is that you, Brad? Is that you? I don't know. He's just nodding his head. Yes. Stop it, whatever you're doing. But anyway, you can use some baby shampoo on the inside, or just some shampoo or body wash on the inside of your shield. You put it on there, you let it kind of dry, and then you just kind of buff it out. That works really well too. So that's another trick. And Brett says, yes, exactly. He uses the kiwi with the baby oil. So that's a good trick as well. Yeah, I wonder what are you doing over there, huh?
It was what I was talking to you about beforehand.
Okay. All right. I guess.
It was just an accident.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Can end it on a funny note.
Yep. It's always a good way to go out. All right.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, we do this every Monday, 5:30. That's our new time. If you like the channel, feel free to support it. We love that. buymeacoffee.com/refroom. That helps defer some of the costs. And yes, the internet cost has doubled since I've moved to the new studio. It went up twice the price. Hard to believe. Half the quality, twice the price. Yeah, I miss my fiber optic, which we used to have, but it seems to be working pretty well. I mean,
it seems to be working pretty good.
The download speeds are good, but the upload is a little bit slower, but it's been pretty consistent. So I think from what I'm seeing go out over the air, it looks pretty good. I don't think we're having any issues. We haven't had 4 people on here or 5 people on here yet. We'll find out. By the way, I worked a Wounded Warrior game over the weekend. They were playing in a tournament. And Rich, who we had on the show about a year and a half ago for a Thanksgiving show when we were talking about give backs and charity and all that good stuff, Rich was on there. It's the first time I've gotten to see him in well over a year, so had to go over and introduce myself. And they gave us some very cool little Blackhawk Warrior pins for the referees, which was very nice. It was a really nice touch. So, it's always fun. You get some of the men's league teams that are like that. They do recognize that the referees are taking some time out of their day to go do their events, and they appreciate it. And the fire department was the same way. They were happy to offer up some T-shirts, which we weren't there to get, but they do have that sort of thing. And, they're very nice about doing some of that. So some generosity from some of the men's league is much appreciated because, typically you don't make anybody happy at a men's league game.
Somebody's mad.
Right.
All right.
So, all right. Well, you got anything else you want to cover before we go?
No. I just, as always, the hour flies by. I mean, it's. I don't know if an hour is long enough. It seems like some days,
I
but
know. It goes quickly. All right. Well, you guys have a great week. Keep it up. Hockey returns, I think, in like a week. I know you got nationals, but then April, about that first week of April, it's already starting to look like it's getting busier, and it will stay like that till almost the end of May. So we're back in business here probably next week with lots going on. So have a great week. Get some games. Enjoy it. Get out there. Get the golf clubs ready. The golf season is upon us.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have the golf outing this year, I'm sure. We don't know all the details because I think it's grown, but we'll have some details about that coming in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. And there's some charity events and things that'll be taking place here. We got the big tournament. What are we calling that now? The shuffle?
200 by 85.
200 by 85. Okay, the big tournament is coming in like mid-April or whatever it is. Grab some games. There's lots of games up there for that. And that's all I got. That's what I got. Frankie is right here. Frankie says, let's get going, Dad. She wants to go out. Yeah. So take Addison for a walk. Again, how could you have named your dog Addison, huh?
Because that's what my wife wanted. So, all right.
Oh, it's a great name. It's just a bad referendum. That's
You're not the first one to tell me this.
Right.
So,
okay.
All right.
Peace out, everybody. I am Scott Smokin Silz along with Brad Baumruck from the Ref Room. We'll see you next Monday, 5:30, right here